Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Here's a pass inside to Giannis. Giannis guides it through as he took the feed from Lillard, his second assist to Giannis.
It's Bucks Insiders every Thursday at 12:35. Sponsored by Best Electric and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. The Bucks are almost out of the woods, or mountains, of their West Coast trip against the Nuggets.
Spin move by Giannis and a big one-hand flush. He was a blur taking it down the lane, and the Greek Freak is putting on a show.
Our coverage starts tonight at 7:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
10:01, we have 36 degrees. Look for partly cloudy skies today with a high 45 lakeside, about 52 inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. President Trump and some of his most senior cabinet officials trying to brush off the Signal War Plan story by attacking the reporter Jeffrey Goldberg. Here's ABC News Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz, who says National Security Advisor Mike Waltz also part of that group chat.
Goldberg says it was Waltz himself who added him to the chat on the app Signal, where he says he saw texts from Hegseth that laid out specific war plans, saying the plan included precise information about weapons packages, targets, and timing.
The Atlantic released more texts today. The messages appear to contain exact times of the military strikes. Goldberg and the Atlantic writer said the statements by the president led them to release everything to the public so they can decide for themselves if the information was classified. The Trump administration says it was not. PBS and NPR leaders testifying before House DOJ subcommittee as they're being questioned about federal support for public broadcasting. The pair, along with their respective local stations, funded through an over $500 million appropriation provided by Congress, along with corporate, foundation, and viewer support. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has accused both of bias. Small business owners frustrated and fearful of tariff threats. Here's ABC's Sherry Preston.
Wine wholesalers nationwide are worried about the 200% tariffs President Trump wants to impose on European wines. Harry Root is the owner of Grassroots Wine in Charleston, South Carolina, and says he'll have no choice, if it passes, to pass that cost on to restaurants who buy his wine, who'll then pass it on to you.
I mean, it makes the wines unmarketable. I mean, if whatever you're paying for a glass of Pinot Grigio at your favorite restaurant is probably $10, $12, you would be paying $36 for it.
He calls the 200% tariff on any product devastating. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Decision Wisconsin. State Superintendent candidates focus on reading. Incumbent candidate Dr. Jill Underly says the state needs more funding to support existing reading programs.
High standards for literacy and math, absolutely. High quality instruction, early childhood programming, special education, well-trained teachers, passionate teachers, after-school programs. We know what works.
Candidate Brittany Kinzer says the state needs to reintroduce phonics-based learning.
We have to make sure that we're using research and evidence-based curriculum, and we have to make sure that our teachers are trained, they've been educated on how to teach phonics.
Election Day, April 1st. The longtime city attorney in Sheboygan has stepped down from his post in what he says was in the mutual interest of both parties.
Charles Adams had been in his position since 2015, but served in the city attorney's office for nearly 2 decades before that. Adams told the Sheboygan city administrator of his decision to retire last week. This followed a city council meeting March 17th, where members discussed a report related to the conduct and performance of Adams completed by an outside firm. Details of that report are unknown, and the city says it will not be taking any formal action on the information discussed in their closed session. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
New technology for American Family Field.
Go-Ahead Entry is a facial recognition scan that creates a seamless entry experience.
You'll be able to keep your phone in your pocket. It will validate your ticket based on your facial authentication. You'll walk through screening. If you don't have a bag, you'd continue to keep your phone in your pocket.
Vice President of Stadium Operations, Steve Ethier.
So the software does not store your image. It converts it to a token.
Go-Ahead Entry will be available next week, Monday, on Brewers opening day. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 195, NASDAQ down 191. The S&P 500 is down 17 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:05.
Debbie Loziga here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off your Luckstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
When you're up in the Mile High City, it's important to be aware of flying objects, especially when we come to town.
Liftoff.
Spin move by Giannis in the big one-hand flush.
The Bucks head up to Denver to take on the Nuggets.
He was a blur taking it down the lane, and the Greek Freak is putting on a show early tonight.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. We are the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
So it's about time you spruce up your home. Nothing major. You're not looking to spend a ton, but you are looking for something that'll give your quarters a little upgrade. You know, there are a lot of things you can do with glass. Simply beveling your mirrors can do wonders. You can mill out your wood cabinet doors and replace the center with attractive glass inserts, or customize them with unique handcrafted artistry, or maybe a theme. You could even install a new glass shower door and add some real appeal to your bathroom. They're all pretty affordable home improvements. And Les's Glass Service has been helping homeowners like you for just about longer than anyone in town. You probably don't realize how affordably we can help you reach your home's full potential. But we do, and we can show you countless options. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks wrap up their road trip tonight in Denver against the Nuggets. Milwaukee coming off a close loss to the Suns and had a 2-game winning streak snapped. Team announced yesterday Damian Lillard dealing with a blood clot in his right calf. He's out indefinitely. He's averaging almost 25 points per game. And the Brewers gearing up for opening day. Team squares off against the Yankees tomorrow afternoon for the first of 3 games from the Bronx. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson and Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. We still have some vehicles off-right due to that crash that was I-43 north at Wisconsin Highway 145, Fond du Lac Avenue. No major slowing there, but they are still cleaning up that one. The other disabled vehicles that we've been following this morning pretty much cleared off the roadway as of now. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, highs 45 to 52. Inland, isolated showers late tonight, mostly cloudy, low 36. Isolated showers tomorrow, high 53. Chance of a shower, maybe even a thunderstorm Friday. It should be dry by the afternoon, evening, high 68 to 72. Chance of showers and storms on Saturday, high 58, and a chance of showers on Sunday with a high of 44. 32 in Madison, 25 in Green Bay, 36 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen. Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. Hope your Wednesday is off to a wonderful start. On today's show, we're going to explore Wisconsin and Milwaukee's arts and cultural priorities. Look at the business behind it all, the economic impact, the community impact. Maybe touch a little bit on education and innovation. You know, such a big commerce and community puzzle to solve, right? But one that if it's solved correctly, it really helps power our entire state forward on so many levels. There are a lot of good groups doing really good work, and there's opportunities in corporate budgets, within governmental budgets to help power progress. But I think sometimes when you look at funding the arts and creativity and entrepreneurism and film and more, I think maybe we have blinders on and we have like too many legacy issues on our mind. Sometimes there's groups and institutions that get too territorial and say, hey, we do this, you do that. sometimes funding priorities get a little out of whack or there's just not enough funding. So maybe you need to bring in an outside perspective, right? Randy Cohen is the vice president of research at Americans for the Arts, the nation's leading arts advocacy organization. He's going to join us in studio. Christine Hanaki, the new executive director at Imagine MKE, and Ann Katz from Create Wisconsin. All three are going to be in the studio this morning. Some big items in the state budget that we're going to go over. Some big meetings happening yesterday in Madison. So we'll give you an update as to the state of the creative economy in and around the state of Wisconsin. But first, as we do each and every morning, I got two things you need to know about right now. So we do Two Up.
Now it's time for the Two Up on the Upswing.
So this is a really good item for this time of year. What grade, as you're out and about driving, what grade would you give your local roads, your local water, your local bridges? Every 4 years, a report card comes up on the upkeep of America's infrastructure. The report comes from the American Society of Civil Engineers. It came out yesterday, and it gave a global grade of C, up slightly from previous reports, mainly due to a lot of the investments that were made over the last 4 to 8 years. But the 2025 grades range from a B to ports, from a D to stormwater and transit. And for the first time since 1998, no report cards in the infrastructure report card were rated D-. So that's a good thing, right? But there are 18 categories: energy D+, schools D+, public parks C-, transit a D. Obviously, a lot of work needs to continue to be done in the infrastructure space. On the road side, just a friendly reminder, if you're in downtown Milwaukee, if you're in the city of Milwaukee, you can easily report potholes and other street maintenance problems. All you have to do is call the Unified City Call Center. It's 414-286-CITY, or you can submit something or you can submit an online service request, or just download the MKE mobile action app. You can say, hey, there's a pothole here, there's a light out here. It's up to us as citizens to make sure that the government knows where we need repairs. Second up, a fun item here, Brew City Kringle. If you want to be that office hero or that big-time breakfast dad or mom at home, the brewer's open in New York tomorrow. The big home opener is Monday. And to celebrate, O&H Danish Bakery in Racine this week unveiled its Brewer Lemon Blueberry Kringle. It's a limited edition flavor. It's only available in their 5 locations across southeastern Wisconsin. Only in stores, only through April 6th. It has kind of this bright tart lemon cake, blueberry filling. It's frosted, some blue and yellow sprinkles. And as I always do, I want to make sure you know how much this is going to cost. $13.95. Go get your Brew Crew Kringle. Good stuff. Get your morning off and running. Coming up next, I got a couple business of sports items before we dive into the creative economy in the state. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here. Our home has become our happy place, thanks in large part to Serta Pro Painters. They came out, they did a big job, and they did it big time right. It's Serta Pro Painters. Right now's the time. Call and check out their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C. They will transform your house inside and outside. Each Serta Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose Serta Pro Painters.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Beer fans, travel lovers, and history buffs, this is your dream vacation. Join me, Sandy Max, on a 10-day journey through Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic. We'll enjoy Munich's famous beer halls, sip our way through Salzburg's historic breweries, and discover Vienna's culture and craft beer scene. Then end the tour in Prague, where ancient history meets modern brews. From iconic castles to authentic flavors, grab your passport and let's raise a glass to the ultimate beer adventure. Limited spots available. Book now. Email me, sandy@wtmj.com to learn more.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Gruber Law Office's Thanalysis Live is back March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You can join Thanasis Antetokounmpo for a live show. It's going to entertain fans like none other. Last year, Thanasis surprised with the MVP, his brother Giannis Antetokounmpo, a surprise appearance from ESPN's Stephen A. Smith. So you never know what Thanasis has planned for 2025. March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Thanalysis Live with Thanasis Antetokounmpo. You can get your tickets to Gruber Law Office's Thanalysis Live right now. All you have to do is visit taliveshow.com to get your tickets. Excitement, entertainment you can't get anywhere else. It's Gruber Law Office's Thanalysis Live, presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel and Carbless, featuring Brandon Jennings and a surprise guest and much more. Also supported by the Prisoner Wine Company and McDonald's. TALiveshow.com. TALiveshow.com goes right to the ticket link. Easy to buy tickets. Get them delivered instantly to your phone. Speaking of sports, speaking of business, I got a couple items that you need to know about. I saw this yesterday, that sportswear company Under Armour is back in the NFL game, and it's partnered once again with the National Football League, signing a deal to be the official provider of shoes and gloves for the league. And the company paused its NFL partnership in 2020. Kind of amid what a lot of companies were doing at that time, some cost cutting and pushbacks, and they reallocated their marketing dollars. And now they're back in the game with sponsored players who were previously required to cover the brand's logo on the field. Not anymore. Under Armour is going to be back on NFL fields this coming year. A big component of this marketing deal, and it's always interesting to dive into these deals that brands do with leagues. Under Armour is going to have access to all NFL media platforms, all of their content creators, all of their distribution channels, and they can further collaborate on content and initiatives for both on-field and in-game exposure. So these deals are more than just, hey, here's a bunch of money, we want opportunity. It's about that integration into content and all the media exposure that brands get, especially with huge brands like the NFL. Retail-wise, it's about sales too, right? The Under Armour football cleats are $110. The gloves, if you have a son or grandson or granddaughter playing football, everyone wants those gloves because they're so apparent. Especially we're watching games on TV. Those aren't cheap. Retail, $45. So watch for a whole lot more Under Armour on the NFL fields this coming year. On the baseball diamond, if you want to buy a bar very close to American Family Field, if you got an extra $1.1 million on hand, the opportunity is here for you. Rounding Third is a baseball-themed bar. It's right on 63rd and Blue Mound. Saw this yesterday on Lakeside Realtors' website. Call it an amazing opportunity to own and operate a successful and turnkey bar and grill with a banquet hall in a phenomenal location near American Family Field. So this strip, if you've been to a Brewers game lately, and hopefully you got your tickets for opening day on Monday, but you have a lot of sports bars on Blue Mound, right? You have Dugout 54, you have Magoo's on the Mound, you have Kelly's Bleachers, places, legacy institutions that have been there forever. Now, hey, it's time for the owner on 63rd and Blue Mound at Rounding Third to move on. He's looking for a new buyer, a new operator. Just pulling some of the data here. The assessed total value of this space, while the sales price is $1.1 million, the total assessed value is $624,000. The land at about $25,000. The assessed value of including the improvements on the building itself, you're looking at about $599,000. So $1.1 million buys you a Brewers bar and gets you in the game. I'm always fascinated with how the bars on game day do. And we'll have some more on that tomorrow, especially as we head into opening day. So much activity, the shuttles, the specials, just the increased energy. And hey, baseball is back, and that is a beautiful thing. Coming up next, we're going to explore the world of creativity and entrepreneurship across the state. Imagine MKE, Create Wisconsin, and Americans for the Arts. A little roundtable discussion about what's in the state budget, what's possible, what are the benefits, and what's the role of government, what's the role of business in powering creativity in our state. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News each weekday from 11 to 1.
Bucks President Peter Feigin joins us live here in the studio right now.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty by listening to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
What you're seeing now is like the reality of, playing a season together, kind of, getting to know each other.
Powered by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Don't forget, take us with you wherever you go. We'd love to have you with us.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Pain can make you feel like no matter what you try, it's not going to work. Or it can make you try any and everything. And most times, that'll make you feel like you've been taken for a ride. It's hard to believe that there's a solution to your pain problem that works, is safe, and is actually affordable. But that's why most insurance plans pay for pain treatments from Rejuvenex, because they're FDA approved and they do work. Toradol and hyaluronic acid work together to substantially alleviate your pain. And we've seen patients experience pain relief for greater than 2 years after completing a series of treatments. Is it a one and done? No. But at as low as $65 per joint, it's an affordable alternative to surgery. And it's not an expensive cross your fingers and hope it works experiment. Especially for older pain sufferers, the pain treatment that Rejuvenex offers is worth trying, because the vast majority of patients who do live better lives in a lot less pain. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. It's the perfect time to start planning for outdoor projects. Loctite Landscape Construction Adhesive works great for securing blocks, bricks, and stone. It's a true all-weather application that's water resistant. Save big on Loctite adhesives when you shop at Menards. Plus, check out the weekly flyer on Menards.com for plenty more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Creativity, entrepreneurship, music, the arts, film, and much more, all so important as we power commerce and community forward in the state of Wisconsin. A pleasure to be joined by an expert panel this morning in studio. He's still new, right, Christine? Imagine MKE Executive Director Christine Hanaki, Create Wisconsin's Executive Director Ann Katz, and the Vice President of Research for Americans for the Arts, Randy Cohen. Thank you all for being here. I know you're busy, taking the time to be here. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So, Randy, you're visiting for a keynote and had a bunch of legislative visits in Madison yesterday. I guess I just kind of want to level set on the topic as a whole to begin and just give us a brief overview of the state of the arts and culture in America and kind of why it's so critical for not only Wisconsin, but the states to continue to dive in on the issue.
You know, arts and culture is absolutely central to our humanity. You talked about it, creativity, expression. And these days in a world that can feel divided, the arts don't just entertain us, but they connect us and inspire us and bring us joy. And the public actually gets this. We did a big national public opinion survey that we published several months ago. 76% of Americans say arts are an important part of their lives, central to their lives. And yet, at the same time, just 51% of the population says everyone in my community has the opportunity to participate and engage in arts and culture. The public really understands what the arts bring to our lives. 86% say, yeah, the arts improve livability of our community, and that makes a lot of sense. We expect that quality of life. But 79% say, for example, that arts are good for the local economy, good for local jobs, good for local businesses. 9 out of 10 people say every child should be receiving a quality arts education in this country.
Yeah, it seems to be, I don't know, using the word issue. It's not an issue, it's an opportunity, but it seems to be one of those opportunities that both sides of the political coin can come together on. But on the national level, you kind of see the disbanding of the President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities. You have a flurry of executive orders. And, people are thinking, all right, when it comes to kind of President Trump 2.0 and the arts impact on the micro and macro levels, maybe people are a little tepid, a little fearful. Do you sense that on a national level, Randy?
Yes, and I would say that's not even just for the arts these days. I think there's a lot of uncertainty there. And there's still a lot to understand about where this is going. There's a lot of executive orders. A lot of things are tied up in the courts these days. And there is much to understand. But, again, here's what the public understands. It's making them feel healthier. It's improving their well-being. But people are concerned about public support for the arts. Interesting, and the National Endowment for the Arts, that's the federal funding agency. Here in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Arts Board, and, our local cities and counties also support the arts. And that support is just vital to leveraging the private sector, businesses, foundations, individuals. And so, the public sector, a lot of times the first one in the trenches.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps the arts accessible to everyone in our communities.
We're talking with Randy Cohen, who's the Vice President of Research at Americans for Arts. Ann and Christine, when we come back from the break, we're going to kind of dive into the city and the state impacts in the next state budget and your meetings with legislators yesterday. But Randy, just kind of follow up on that point. What are you hearing on a national level in terms of responsibility? I mean, you mentioned, hey, the businesses and government both have responsibilities here. Where does that responsibility lie? Is it a collaborative thing, or is it more on the government side or more on the business side?
It's both. Yeah. And it's a complex mix of revenue sources. If you look at your typical arts organization, ticket sales and tickets to the arts, in the communities here, they're not cheap, but they're affordable. without that government and private sector funding, it would be like going to Broadway and paying a couple $100 a seat. So if you value arts as central to our humanity and who we are, then we need that investment to make the arts accessible.
Very good. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News and local headlines are coming up next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Another hearing on the group text at which military plans for a strike against Houthi rebels in Yemen was discussed. House Intelligence Committee ranking member Congressman Jim Himes from Connecticut.
Everyone here knows that the Russians or the Chinese could have gotten all of that information, and they could have passed it on to the Houthis, who easily could have repositioned weapons and altered their plans to knock down planes or sink ships.
Journalist Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic published more of that signal group text today. A senior U.S. official telling ABC News it does appear to have been classified information at the time. The Supreme Court in a 7-2 ruling says so-called ghost guns, which are self-assembled and frequently do not have serial numbers, are subject to federal gun laws, including background checks and age limits for purchase. The fire threat is growing in South Korea, where wildfires have killed at least 24 people and left 26 injured. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. The longtime city attorney in Sheboygan has stepped down from his post. Charles Adams told the city administrator of his decision to retire last week. This follows a city council meeting March 17th where members discussed a report related to the conduct and performance of Adams completed by an outside firm. City says it will not be taking any formal action on the information discussed in the March 17th closed session. Adams had been city attorney since 2015. Body found inside the vacant Milwaukee Mall at Fond du Lac and North on Milwaukee's northwest side. Cause of death for 65-year-old Jeffrey Moline still under investigation, but police do not suspect foul play. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation announces its third and final public involvement meeting for the Reimagining Wisconsin 175 study. The study team will share the latest alternatives based on input from stakeholders and the public. A final report will be prepared to document the analysis conducted and findings. The open house style meeting will be held on the evening of April 2nd at the Washington Park Senior Center. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 49 points, 42,636. The Nasdaq down 199 at 18,073. The S&P 500 down 27 points at 5,749. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. All of those earlier disabled vehicles have been cleared off. We are looking at normal drive times. Highway 16 to the Zoo, about an 11-minute drive. The Zoo to the Marquette Interchange running about 6. 43 South, Brown Deer Road to the Marquette Interchange, 14 minutes. And 94 northbound from Layton to the Marquette, about 7 minutes. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today with highs 45 lakeside, 52 inland. Isolated showers late tonight with a low 36. Isolated showers tomorrow morning with a high Thursday of 53. A chance of a morning shower on Friday, maybe even a thunderstorm. Should be dry by the afternoon and the evening. Friday's high 68 lakeside, 72 inland. Chance of storms on Saturday. Temperatures will fall after a high of 58. And a chance of rain Sunday with a high of 44. 32 in Madison, still 25 in Green Bay, 36 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:34.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Come on in and take advantage of Fleet Farm Member Appreciation Days, March 20th through the 26th. Fleet Rewards members can take an extra 10% off qualifying purchases, in-store and online. Not a member? Sign up to get your discount now. The extra 10% is our way of thanking you for being a loyal Fleet Rewards member. So stock up on everything you need during Member Appreciation Days, now through Wednesday, and enjoy even more savings at Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Governor Tony Evers recently announced 2025-27 state budget includes several significant components for the arts and film and in Wisconsin, including increased arts funding. The budget proposes raising the annual funding for the Wisconsin Arts Board from approximately about $1.08 million to $4.9 million. Just one item. An event yesterday in Madison helped kind of move the ball down the field, so to speak, in terms of talking with legislators about, their opportunities, maybe some of the challenges to get to where we need to be for the creative industries here in the state of Wisconsin. Ann Katz is the executive director of Create Wisconsin. It was your event yesterday, essentially, Ann, right?
Yes. So Create Wisconsin is the state's community cultural development organization. We provide advocacy service and development for everything connected with the arts, from nonprofit organizations to independent performers and artists to local government, economic development. Really, we are concerned with the Wisconsin's future and making sure that we're a creative place. So for the last more than 25 years, we've held an annual Advocacy Day in Madison. We definitely preach that advocacy is a daily activity. To be effective, you have to build relationships, and every once in a while it's nice to gather together to celebrate. So yesterday was, I don't remember the number anymore, but we had
lots of meetings.
We had people come from Kenosha, Superior, Milwaukee, of course, Wausau, Viroqua, Green Bay, Door County, Rhinelander, from all over the state to meet each other, learn from each other, and to let their decision makers, their elected representatives, know what they wanted them to work on.
So as you're talking to leaders in the Capitol, what specifically are you advocating for? Are you optimistic? Were there concerns? And even to our first point, are there differences depending if you're a Democrat or Republican?
I'll say that everyone is concerned with keeping Wisconsin's people, organizations, businesses, and communities healthy, vibrant, making sure that people have opportunities, making sure economic and civic. And so that is not a partisan thing. Yeah. Everyone is concerned with investing in our people and our communities. And that's how we approach the advocacy, right? So we make sure that the arts are not a partisan issue. The arts are for everyone, and everyone is involved in creativity in some way. So we have a three-pronged agenda this year. More money for arts opportunities through the Wisconsin Arts Board, because Wisconsin is 48th out of 50 states at 18 cents per capita. Minnesota is over $10 per capita. Illinois is over $2.50, something like that. So we need to do better and have more opportunities. So that's the first thing. The second thing is our Rural Creative Economy Development Bill, which is going to provide more infrastructure around the arts. Every tourism organization, bid district, downtown group, mayor, county executive, tribe, everybody wants to have a healthy, thriving arts community, because that's how you attract people to your community to live, work, and play. So that's the second thing. We want to make sure that rural communities have resources. Everyone needs resources, but we want to make sure that because the arts happen everywhere in the state, that we support the arts everywhere in the state, or invest in. That's really the word. And then the film office and the film incentives is the third prong.
Yeah.
And we need a robust film industry in the state. There are lots of people making films, acting in films. There are a lot more who would like to live and work in this beautiful state.
And some of that businesses are going over borders to other states, right? And Christine's going to talk a little
Superior
bit about that,
Duluth,
for sure.
And Christine and Imagine MKE are leading the way on that. So we're working in partnership. We're really glad to have a strong regional partner.
Let me ask you quickly about the difference between rural and urban communities. What do you see there? I think it's often easier to just say, hey, the arts impact urban centers and big cities because you have the murals, the big institutions, the museums, but kind of discuss the wants and needs based on community makeup.
Everyone has the same wants and needs, really. And I have been everywhere in the state. And I can tell you that the arts are happening and are thriving, even though there's not enough money, time, or staff everywhere in the state. So Milwaukee has tons and tons of that are happening here. And Imagine MKE is as concerned with the rural areas around Milwaukee and the rest of the state because it's all an ecosystem. So Bayfield has I'm going to forget a lot of things, but Bayfield has the Big Top Chautauqua. Spring Green has American Players Theater. There are independent artists making art and honing their craft in every community. Actually, Wisconsin is a place where people can move from a larger place to a smaller town. They can afford to buy a house. They can send their kids to public schools. They can have a community, and they can do their work anywhere in the world, of course. They can be involved in the arts in some way. And so we're working on all levels to make sure, first of all, that urban and rural understand that we are all connected and that investment in the overall infrastructure and the overall opportunities is really what we're going for.
All gets back to recruitment and retention. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Wisconsin, as you said, Ann, one of only 4 states without a film office, one of 13 that does not offer production incentives. We're going to dive into that when we come back. You're listening to The Upswing. This is WTMJ.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Gaydish Foundation and CertaPro Painters. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank, they've been doing banking differently since 1896. How? Your financing requests, you don't have to wait weeks. You can wait days because your banker understands you and your business. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. Horicon Bank, they get the job done. Together, doing good, that's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business grow. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With spring in the air, a young man's fancy turns to ceiling fans. And at BBC, he'll see all the best quality fans and their newest styles. The new fan electronics provide a great method of moving air, and with LED lights, they use less electricity than ever. We have fans in all sizes, from 24 to 96 inches wide, and their motors are warranted for life. At BBC, we advise you on the right fan for your needs, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturday 10 to 4 and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Enjoy a free dinner this week at the historic Fox and Hounds, one of the most unique and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds, one of my very favorite places. You will enjoy fabulous food and 90 years of history in the gorgeous stone and timber building. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free every single night, free. Seafood, choice steaks, short ribs, a real favorite, pasta, prime rib Wednesday and Saturday, even the steak and lobster, your second dinner is always free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. I love that chocolate cake with the extra ice cream. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, 20 bourbons to choose from, 100 wines from around the world. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, escape from your kitchen with a free dinner this week. Man, that sounds great. Call and reserve, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing Creative Economy here in our wonderful state of Wisconsin. A wonderful expert panel joins us in studio this morning. Christina Hanaki, the executive director of Imagine MKE. Christine, we've talked a lot about funding to establish a Wisconsin office of film and creative industries. Is the path finally there, and how did your meetings go yesterday? Talk us through the process.
So, as Ann said, there were at Create Wisconsin Day yesterday, there were about 150 people from across the state. And there were appointments set up all day in Madison with legislators. And I attended quite a few of them, both Democrat and Republican, some senators, some representatives, some staff. Each meeting had a different, kind of a different group of people. There were a lot of people from Milwaukee. There were youth. There was First Stage was there. The rep was there. So there was just a lot of representation. Additionally, Imagine MKE, who is the umbrella organization with Action Wisconsin, who is leading, it's a coalition of leaders across the state leading this effort to advocate for the film office. We had the opportunity to have one of our filmmakers with us that was from Superior, Wisconsin. And she basically in the room, we were telling the stories why the arts and why a film office is so important. And I would say what got a lot of traction was the film office, a lot of interest in it. But the story she told was one of she had to establish an office in Duluth, Minnesota, because of the incentives. She gets work because of that. And a lot of her friends and a lot of people in that area are moving across the border because of the incentives. They're significant. There's just a lot of work there because of the incentives. So we need to change that. And so we talked to the legislators about that. And I would say it got a lot of interest in the room when we're not just talking about Milwaukee. We're not talking about big city. And that goes to what Ann was saying, too, about the statewide importance of this bill.
And my understanding, I think it's a lot of those films that are within, the under $1 million budgets, true creative businesses that want to power their expression forward, and they're just not finding the funding in the state. So they got to go to Minnesota. They got to go to the film offices where they're going to get some tax credits and some investment capital to power their dreams forward. And I think that's what we need to continue to do, whether it's film or entrepreneurship. Those incentives must be readily available.
Yeah. And I have to say, I had the opportunity to meet with Senator Julian Bradley yesterday. And a year ago, he introduced this bill. It's a bipartisan bill. He introduced it with a couple other representatives. It was Armstrong, also, and Callahan, which are also across the state. And I'm feeling really positive about it. It has traction. What I learned is that it's really about perspective, and perception. We need to tell the story. What we're able to do is come in and talk about the economic impact, that story as well. It's retention of people in our community and the creative economy. Yeah. So it impacts those tax incentives will impact businesses, and some people see it clearly. I'd also say for anybody that's listening, it's important to talk to your legislator. They said that's number one. The conversations we're having are important, but people need to talk to their legislators where they live.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our conversation, but I do want to ask all three of you. I think sometimes there's this perception that nonprofit arts groups, cultural organizations, that's not really a business. They don't really have a product. Like, how do we continue to champion that in the state of Wisconsin? Because I think it's so incredibly important if we want to power recruitment and retention efforts forward. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
Hey, March Madness is here. Now, technically, I can't say March Madness, but I can say this. Our coverage of the tournament will be fantastic. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. Keep it tuned to WTMJ for all the updates you need on the tournament. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. During every sports update, you'll know about every buzzer beater, every upset, the Cinderella stories, and how the state teams are doing throughout the entire tournament. It's the college basketball tournament, not March Madness. Update sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? What if you could create more impact in every decision? What if you had a partner as visionary as you are? With Bank of America, you get access to our trusted experts, real-time insights, and digital tools. So whether you run a local shop or a global enterprise, you're backed by business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
You can't beat Bernhardt.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
Football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Truly appreciate our panel being in studio this morning. Christine Hanaki, Ann Katz, and Randy Cohen talking about the importance of building a healthy, vibrant arts infrastructure in the state of Wisconsin. So, Randy, as you look at the economic impact on a national level, how does it differ from state to state? And how to give us maybe your grade on how Wisconsin's doing and where we can get to?
Well, number one, Wisconsin is a great arts state. People in this, the residents of this state, have just a whole range of cultural opportunities. So just right out of the gate, I got to say that. And the arts, though, are more than an amenity. You know, the fact is they're a business. Arts organizations are businesses that employ people, and not just artists. They employ plumbers and electricians, and they pay utility bills. Also, they generate event-related spending. You know, every time we go to an arts event, dinner, parking, babysitting. You know, right here in Milwaukee, the typical attendee spends $31.37, not including the cost of admission. It's statewide arts and culture. If you look at all the arts, 3% of the state's economy. That's not trivial.
Yeah.
Other states, though, there's a lot more investment. We heard we're not even 20 cents per capita here in state investment. Just next door in Minnesota, they're over $10 per capita. So you make that investment. You're not investing in a frill or an extra. You're investing in an industry that supports jobs, generates government revenue, and is a tourism driver.
Yeah, we talk about investment, economic impact as it pertains to conferences and sporting events all the time, and the dollars and cents behind it. I think it is very much the same on a local level with arts groups. So just closing thoughts in terms of moving the ball down the court. What can people do to support the arts and talk to their legislators? Ann?
The status quo can change. We bemoan the fact that we're 48th out of 50 states and the lack of public investment, but we can change that. Certainly the governor and the legislature is very interested in this conversation because they're looking for ways to keep Wisconsin healthy and vibrant and thriving. And so the more that we all collectively can get out there and contact our elected officials, make sure they hear from us, make sure they know that that there are good reasons to invest in this arts economy and provide opportunities, the better. So createwisconsin.org is our website, and we have lots of information about how to get involved.
Christine, got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, actionwi.org for the film incentives and the film office. If you're passionate about that, go on, email your legislator, and imaginemke.org to find the information and links to all this information. We're a great partner with Create Wisconsin and Americans for the Arts, so it's a wealth of information. We ask people to get engaged.
I always say, I said at the beginning of the show, you see a pothole, make the phone call to get it fixed, right? Nobody gives you the right to stand on the sidelines, so if this is an issue you care about, get off the sidelines and make it happen. Coming up next, Wisconsin's Midday News.
The most common reason pain sufferers come to us is to be able to perform their daily tasks without suffering through them. Grandparents who want to be able to take their grandkids on walks and to the park. Or those that just want to be able to get out of their vehicle with more ease than pain. Rejuvenex pain treatments can help, and the sooner you get to calming down that pain, the better it will be. These are powerful, FDA-approved pain treatments precisely administered with an extremely small needle to get to the root of your pain. And before you know it, you'll feel the anti-inflammatory power of Toradol and the cushioning relief of hyaluronic acid. Positive patient results are regularities, not rarities. And we do this conveniently in